Let's welcome Jai Bala of cashthechaos.com. Jai, a bit of a lull. I think we haven't moved too much since the last time we chatted. But your guess is we are bracing ourselves for a bigger inning, so to call it in cricketing parlance. The Nifty is gradually going to find its form and rocket up from here.
That's right, Ajit. Good to be here. Yeah, probably the markets are heading higher is more. The reason being Reliance is having a breakout like I pointed out last time. The 1538 was the very short-term resistance. It's crossed that yesterday too. And it's like the only resistance for Reliance right now is about all-time high at 1600 and 1606 to 1632. So, that should give fillip to the overall market direction. And, the resistance for Nifty is about 25,660. And once that's taken out, it's only 26,000 odds is the next resistance for the markets. So the odds are looking bright for Nifty. So Reliance is giving the heads up for the markets that it's possibly breaking out higher.
All right, Reliance, yeah, that's the one actually that was a relative underperformer a few months ago. And the last 6 months, Reliance Industry is that big boy, which is as good as an index itself. That's really been leading the way if you just pull up a last 6 month chart or thereabouts. Let's talk about the other big component, Jay, though, the Nifty Bank. What are the levels you're looking at the Nifty Bank? And give us your view on a couple of these banking names. Kotak Mahindra Bank, well, the quarterly update is very, very good. We'll have to keep an eye out on how the NIMs pan out because we know that they have a large amount of their loans that are linked to repo. So we'll have to see whether or not there is some compression because that will adjust first. So Nifty Bank, Kotak Mahindra Bank and SBI that's gone through a nice sleepy period. Is it ready to fire up?
Yeah, that's what it's looking like. I know SBI bottomed ahead of the overall markets in March, and the markets bottomed in April. So that's having a slightly different cycle versus the Nifty. So it's possibly leading the markets higher. But the structure is that it's a bit overlapping, not excessively or desk thumping bullish. But it is bullish if SBI were to take out 837. And if that happens, I think the overall markets are going to get further fillip besides Reliance. And when it comes to Kotak, at least a short-term high is coming, which could also be a fresh all-time high for the stock. So both these stocks are likely to lift the banking index. The resistance for the banking index is about 58,500 to 58,900. Sorry, 59,000. And the supports are about 53,480.
All right, we were talking about a couple of stocks earlier, Jay. Let's get to them. Hariom Pipes, we were talking about how the stock halved from 850 to around 400 rupees. And then it's bounced back post the strong operational update. I believe that's one of the stocks on your radar. Tell us why, because otherwise in the last 1 year, it's been a big underperformer. And also Lemon Tree, which is moving with very, very good momentum. But you believe they're both good for higher levels. Tell us more.
That's right. Let's take Lemon Tree first. It's bottomed in October and it's moved from the October lows to 2025 high in 5 steps. So that's a trending move for electricians like us. And then from then on, it's gone into a sideways consolidation, which has been choppy and overlapping. That's once again a classic corrective signal. Today, the price crossing over 141, it's signaling a reversal for the October to 2025 January move. Or a continuation to that move. Basically, it's an inverse head and shoulders breakout, and the stock is likely to hit somewhere close to 170, maybe even 200. But we'll leave it as a conservative estimate about 170. When it comes to Hariom Pipes, it's a very interesting stock. It's a relatively new listing, listed in 2022. From the 2022 listing low, it's got to about 888 in 5 steps, and then it's pulled back to near perfect 61.8 Fibonacci retracement, and that was about 320. So from that point onwards, it's breaking out in today's price action. There's a great possibility that this is going to be a 3-bagger from here on. But be a bit careful. The price history is quite recent. It's 2022 to 2025. So I'm bullish on the stock. With the caveat that it's got a relatively less price history, but it's reasonably good price history to consider. It's going to fresh all-time highs.
Okay. All right. The market has made quite a move in the last 15 odd minutes. Very, very interesting with Jai Bala. Jai, very quickly, before we move to other sectors and stock names, I just wanted to get your thoughts on the implications of this wind down from a large entity like Jain. Jane Street and some of the other algo traders, high-frequency traders in the market. Do you see that impacting the market in any sense, whether on weekly option expiry days or monthly expiries? Should we be prepared for anything over the next few weeks?
Yeah, I see a very short-term impact on the options market. Possibly, in the very near term, the other algo firms will get a bit cautious, and there could be, and obviously some retail investors would also consider this as a rigged game, and then there'll be options drying up in the short term. But in the medium term, it should all come back to normalcy. And the main problem is not with what Jane Street did, and it's basically do with the concentration of the Nifty Banking Index. There was too much weightage towards HDFC Bank, and if you take up what is a good index structuring, you would see no index should have more than 10-15% if you are structuring a good index. And the fact that they were optionable, that has caused the problems. But this, at my very short point, is that this is going to be a short-term impact.
Okay, all right. So short-term impact maybe, but not too sort of disruptive. So let's quickly get back to stocks and sectors. Give us 2-3 names that look perhaps like strong trades to you, because your overall stance on the market has been fairly positive, Jai.
Yeah, the markets have done good rotation from the April lows, and the markets are waiting for Nifty IT to join. And given that the results season for the tech-heavy Nifty IT index is quite just around the corner, that it looks like Nifty IT is consolidating and possibly a breakout is coming. But I've considered the move from the low from the April as a counter trend bounce, and I've been anticipating somewhere about 39,000 to 40,000. The index is there. If 40,000 were to get taken out for the Nifty IT index, I think that will be a good breakout, possibly led by TCS, about 3550. Also, the real estate sector seems to have gone to a sideways consolidation, and it's starting to perk up one more time. So, this is another area where you might want to keep a watch. Probably further higher highs are likely to come through. And obviously, Reliance and banks are the key to markets pushing much higher in terms of weight.
Okay, all right. Jai, I wanted to ask you about a couple of other names. The Troika, something that we track. The US bond yields, that's perked up a little bit. Where is that one headed from here on? And if you could also tell us about Brent crude prices, because the OPEC plus, there was a sharp spike in production, but Brent crude prices have been resilient. What's your view on both these two?
Yeah, when it comes to US 10-year yield, it's no joy for traders. It's stuck in a range between 410 bips and 466 bips. So a breakout on either of the side has to happen before a trending move happens. My guess is that it's possibly breaking down below 410, but at the moment you're sitting on the hands when it comes to the US 10-year yields and the bond markets. When it comes to Brent crude, I'm anticipating possibly end of a counter trend bounce in the next couple of sessions. Maybe could stretch into beginning of next week. But I anticipate the April lows to get tested in the next couple of months, maybe a couple of months to a quarter. I think the final low is in place for the long-term corrective that started post the Ukraine war. So I'm anticipating a bump up to about $71, $72 for Brent, and then a decline below the April low. For the NYMEX varieties, the low April low is about $55. So I'm anticipating a break of the April low in the next quarter.
Okay. All right, Jai, thanks very much for all the analysis and the updates today. And